Alrighty, welcome back, everyone. Hope you all doing well. We are back. I noticed this too. Every week I ask you what week we're on, but I'm gonna ask you again, what week are we on?
And then I say week 7, and you go,
Yeah, I literally every time I go, wow, damn, already.
seriously, dude. If we end up doing this next year, I'm gonna be like, it's week 1. You're gonna be like, damn, already. If you say that shit after how long the summers are between seasons, if you go already, I will personally catch the next train to Pittsburgh just to punch you because I hate the wait between seasons. It's way too long for football.
It's fair, but all right, let's get into it. I guess we'll get right into the games, right?
Yeah, we'll recap last week as we go through this week, of course.
Because I got a lot to say, as I'm sure you do too.
Oh, dude. I was just telling like how like NHL just started this week, so I was like so looking forward to that. And then football was like on the back burner. But like some of these games, like this is one of my more excited like times I've entered a podcast to talk about football. Like I am so down. It's really getting into the nitty-gritty. We're almost halfway through the season, and those what is it called? Like divisional rankings are starting to shape into what they'll probably be at the end of the year, at least a little bit. Um, anyways, yeah, we'll start with the Jaguars and the Saints.
So
Saints are a bad football team. I'm sorry.
yeah, so this game actually really caught my interest because I still don't think we know to the extent of Trevor Lawrence's injury yet. Do we?
They are told that they dodged a major bullet with him and he's day to day. But seeing how it's Thursday, you kind of just made me realize it is a short, obvious week for them between games.
Yeah,
So
I'll be honest, and this is probably going to come across as a shock, but I think regardless, the Saints are going to win this week.
I I mean I see where you're coming from. I was about to say I don't think the Saints are a bad football team, and I think they're definitely a team that can pull the upset in a game like this.
Mm-hmm.
But if Trevor Lawrence is playing, I don't know. I just see I think who did the Saints play this week? I just remember them looking a little shaky against whoever the hell they
They
were playing
played
this
the
week.
they
The
lost.
Texans.
Yes,
Texans. Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
why I think they're coming off they're coming off a shaky loss. I think that the Jaguars, if you remember last week,
Keep going, keep going.
I told you like that the Jaguars are going to prove a lot to me by like winning that game soundly. Um, I think that now, with that being said, because if you remember, I don't know, did they start off 1-2? They did,
The
right?
Jags?
Yeah,
Yeah, they did.
yeah, okay, yeah, because they've won their last three. But I feel like they kind of got over that hump now, and now they're like
Yeah.
they can take a little bit of a deep breath. And I just think that this is the game that they could get caught slipping on. Like you said, Lawrence, regardless of the status of his injury, most likely isn't gonna be 100%, even if he plays. And like we said, the Saints are a team that on any given, I mean, we've seen this with, I mean, on any given week, it seems like anybody can beat anybody for the most part. But
Yeah, this year especially for
yeah,
sure.
but and I feel like we've been saying that for the last few years, but it really is like that this year. But yeah,
Mm.
I actually think the Saints are gonna win. I don't know if that would be considered like a major upset, but like
I don't
um,
think so. I think it's a given given how Jacksonville started. I feel like if they started the way that they've been playing the last few weeks, it would be considered a major upset. But it's not like people are looking at them like this juggernaut team like you, for example, thought they would be this year. So, and like I said, that's not taking anything away from the Saints that I think the Jaguars are going to win this game.
yeah,
If you watched our previous episodes, I have a lot more expectations for the Saints than even Mike. But for I don't know, I just see they're going against a great quarterback. Hopefully, they're going against a great quarterback in Trevor Lawrence, and this is a team that is currently rolling. And although I do think the Saints are a team that can pick up an upset or two. I don't think they'll be able to take down a rolling Jacksonville team as long as Trevor Lawrence is still in the mix.
Well, I hope you're right.
I mean, yeah, we all love the Jags here.
You know what's funny though? You probably hope I'm right, and I probably hope you're right in a sense because I feel like you kind
Yeah,
of.
I don't necessarily hope you're right. I like the Jaguars more than the Saints,
Yeah,
but
that's fair. That's fair.
well, no, I do like to be right about these things. I do like to be right in saying that the Saints are a sneaky good team, and right now they're third in the NFC South. So I mean, it's not saying much. I'm pretty sure the top team either has one more win than them or equal, but
Yeah,
still would like to be a little more correct about that.
absolutely.
Um, anyways, the Falcons and the Buccaneers. I
I got
mean,
the Bucks.
the these are two teams that are just so hit or miss by the week, right? I mean, the Falcons when their running game gets going, it's hard to stop them. And meanwhile, who else? The Buccaneers. I mean,
Yeah, but I think
they were bad this week, but I'll tell you what, you could tell that going into the game, Mike Evans wasn't 100%. Because and it wasn't anything that I saw from Mike Evans that could tell me that he wasn't 100%. He like when he was out there doing his thing, he looked all right. But I'll tell you what, he saw next to no targets. Like they would be. I know there were a couple drives where it was either like the end of the half or after a big score, and they were like, we need to march down the field right now. Godwin was targeted all of those, even Kate Otten for a couple of them. I don't think Mike Evans got more than like 2 to 3 receptions, let alone targets. So
I think yeah, I mean everything you said is right and accurate. I just think the Bucks are a little more consistent than the Falcons. Um
oh for sure. Yeah.
and
Um
and I like the fact that again, I'm a big context guy. Like I saw like post game, like the Bucks kind of look like Baker Mayfield the way he was talking, like they didn't want to repeat something like that again. I know a lot of people seem to be thinking that like, okay, now this will be where the Bucks like fall off the cliff for the rest of the season. Like they had a good
yep.
start. And this
Yep.
could be. I mean, hey, this if they get blown out by the Falcons or
Falcons,
whatever,
yeah.
then yeah, I'll agree with those people and be like, okay, yeah, maybe you're right. But I don't know. In that sense, I think the Bucks know that this is a huge week for them, and I think they're going to take advantage of it. And I kind of want to
I
see
mean,
them take advantage of it.
personally, I will take the Bucks as well. I know I was kind of just crapping on them, but that was just because I was more so talking about Mike Evans and the fact that he wasn't healthy last week. Obviously, a week's difference is crucial and very important in this league. So I never really got it off my tongue, but that what I said aside, I do think Mike Evans will have a better role this week. Also, it's an away game, and there's Desmond Ritter, who is the most mid quarterback of all time, riding the low side of mid, and he won all these games at home and stuff. And it's like, oh, he won so many home games. What does that tell you about away games? Being that he's a very mid quarterback. So, yeah, I'll take the Buccaneers in this one, and I think that's all that needs to be said about that. And Raiders Bears. I mean, before we,
Can I just say something real quick about the
I think
Raiders?
we're gonna the same thing, but yeah, what?
No, I don't think well, obviously, I think we're both probably picking the Raiders, but at least I am. But the Raiders, lo and behold, 3-3. Now, granted, I don't think. I mean, they don't. This is why I think they're going to win too. They don't beat anybody who they're supposed to beat, but they beat who they're supposed to beat, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's fair. That's
So I
because they
think
beat the
just
Broncos, they beat the Patriots, and oh well, they beat the Packers
well,
in
the
much less
Packers, I guess that's could probably considered their best win of the year, but it's like
oh
they lose who
yeah.
they're supposed to lose to, and they beat who they're supposed to beat. So I just think
Mhm.
off that strategy alone, there. I mean, I'm not saying they're going to blow the Bears out, but I mean, I don't know.
Well, I think as we enter this game, as we start talking about this, we need to talk about the fact that as great as this week of football was, it was absolutely the worst so far in terms of injuries,
Injuries, yeah.
especially especially at a quarter. I mean, let's quarterback aside. We're talking David Montgomery, Debo Samuel, both on my fantasy.
We're gonna get
But
to injuries.
yeah, I know, but I mean, we're talking about two quarterbacks here. I mean, two teams that could be playing their backup this week.
Mhm.
Justin Fields is out for the possibly on IR because he got an injury on his throwing thumb. And we got Jimmy Garoppolo, who was transported to the hospital because he hurt his back.
Yeah.
I think the outlook on Jimmy G is more positive than the outlook on Fields.
Which, by the way, who didn't think Jimmy G was getting hurt this year?
I mean,
No.
I don't look at him as like this major injury prone quarterback. He definitely isn't the healthiest guy in the league. But when you say injury prone quarterback, I don't think of Jimmy G particularly.
No. I don't look at him as someone who like is gonna miss a significant amount of time, but like I just feel like you just know at some point in the season, like Jimmy G's bound to be at questionable for a game or two. Like, you know?
Sure. I mean, it's not the first thing I think of when you say Jimmy G, but I guess like if I think a little bit about it, yeah. But anyways, yeah, I'll take the Raiders to win this game. Kind of a scary win against a Patriots team, which I have my feelings about. But it's exactly the way you said. They beat who they're supposed to beat. The Bears missing Justin Fields is going to be huge. Whether I think he's still a quarterback with a lot of potential. He's not necessarily good. He's not necessarily in a good system or anything, but I'll tell you what is whoever they got below Justin Fields, like as a backup, is bound to detriment the team a lot. You know, it's not like one of those situations where Jimmy G gets hurt and Brock Purdy just comes in and does his thing. I think that I don't even know who the hell they have below him, but
that's fair.
One more sentence. It's just that I think of Justin Fields as a tremendous athlete. He is in very good shape. He's fat. He has all these physical attributes about him, and I just don't think that whoever is below him has the same build as him.
Yeah, but that being a quarterback, I don't put that much stock into that. But I see what you're saying. But we've seen a lot of cases this year alone where the backup quarterbacks have put up some good fights. Not saying wins, but like I don't think that I genuinely don't think it's going to be like that crazy difference. But let me try to
wait. Who are you talking about? All I can think of personally are the
goddamn thought.
The Jets and the Colts
and Giants.
Okay.
That's three. That's three examples right there. That's not a bad sample size.
Okay, fair.
And I'm missing one other too. I know I'm missing one other.
Well, who's injured? What quarterback's injured right now?
I'll just let me think. It'll come. But I mean, we can move on. We don't have to spend that much time on this one. I just think the Raiders are gonna win. I can't believe we're still
talking. All right, Browns Colts. Do you have something to tell me?
Do I have something to tell you? Hold on. Wait, what? The Browns are playing the Colts?
Mm-hmm.
Who am I missing with? Oh, never mind. That's right. Okay. I was thinking about something else. Never mind. Do I have something to tell you? What exactly? You're creating like fake arguments now. So I'm curious as to what you think my stance was with the Browns.
Yeah.
I never said they were a bad defensive team. But
I was overhyping their defense. That's what I heard. Anyway.
Yeah, and I think that they're a great defensive team, but I think they are now being more hyped up than ever.
I agree. And I'll tell you what is I wasn't hearing anyone talking about the Browns defense week 1 other than myself. And as someone who,
if you're looking for the credit there, if you're looking to get yourself off, I'll give you that. You deserve that because you're right. I didn't see anybody else. I didn't see anybody else talking about that.
I'll just be honest. As a casual fan, more so than my personal sport, and I think you can attribute to this as well. Casual fans like notice a lot more shit about offense. So the fact that I was able to pick up on this on a defensive standpoint, I'm impressed with myself.
Yeah, you should be, man. I mean, look, I still like I still.
That's the most sucking off of myself I'll do all stream. I swear to you.
I still don't I still don't think I think that everybody they've played that they've like dominated against was either an injured Joe Burrow or a not good quarterback. That's
Lamar
my
Jackson.
what? Yeah, and what
Lamar.
happened? And what happened?
I forget. Did they win?
Yeah. And Lamar played
Damn.
incredible. That's my point. If you look at the games, they're who the freaking Kenny Pickett. I mean, literally. Now I'm gonna do this. Okay, so let's go to this, right? Where did it start here? Okay.
I
Bengals,
mean,
we all know about that, right? Steelers, Kenny Pickett. Titans, your boy Tannehill. Ravens beat them 28-3. And then now we have this Niners game. Again, I do the Browns have a great defense, but my thing is like I don't think it's earth shattering as everyone's making it seem to be. I think it's more so they're holding like their rushing defense. Their rushing defense is like you can argue that that's historical, but their passing defense is still to me is still remaining to be seen, in my opinion.
all they I would go on more about their passing defense than their running defense. You're talking about they beat or they weren't able to hold back Lamar Jackson, who's glorified running back. You're
Yeah,
talking
but
about
Lamar passed well that
a
game
49.
though. But
You're
Lamar
talking about
passed well that game.
I'm not done. I'm just saying. You're also talking about the 49ers who they beat. Obviously Deebo Samuel is missing, but Deebo Samuel this year has not been Purdy's favorite target. It's been IU. And guess who else the 49ers lost? Christian McCaffrey. You know what that means? That means they sucked at running. They did not run the football at all. So they had it
I know. So
specifically
then,
in the air.
so I know. So then the defense. It's so much easier when the defense knows that an offense is going to just do one thing. Look, I'm genuinely not trying to discredit them. I'm just saying I don't think it's as unbelievable as people are making it seem. That's all.
Well, the reason that the people are making a big deal out of it, I don't think people think they're like the best defense of all time or anything.
Oh,
I just think that
they
the
do.
and when I say this, I mean I don't think people are exaggerating them because of their numbers, but I mean they have crazy numbers, and whether or not you want to say they're the best defense, have even a top three because of those numbers, I don't think that's the case. I think the case is look at these insane numbers they have. These are numbers that are going to be talked about. Now, does that mean they're something beyond the numbers? No. I think the reason that they're getting brought up so much lately is because of the numbers and
Oh, well,
how
of course. That's
fascinating they are.
that's but you're proving my point. That's what I'm saying. That's why I think people are overhyping them because it's like you're just looking at these numbers, but I'm saying, okay, let's also put these things into context as well. Now, with that being said, I think they're going to beat the Colts because
Yes.
you
I'll
go.
I was just gonna say, I'll tell you what, if you want to test their running defense, this is the week to do it with Jonathan Taylor and Zach Moss.
No, I think their running defense is their best attribute. I think it's their
I guess we'll
passing
learn.
that
We
is
will learn.
so. No, we won't. We saw what they did with Derrick Henry. I think that was enough for me
Oh yeah.
in that
I
end.
honestly forgot about that shit, dude.
But
I forgot. That screwed me in fantasy.
but
I
but
like to forget about
you
that.
know what's an interesting stat too? The Colts have
Mhm.
lost. The Colts have lost 7 of their last 8 home games.
Are they home?
Yeah.
Browns win confirmed.
Well, but yeah. I mean,
That's crazy though.
I do think the Browns soundly win, but
Dude, I'll tell you what, man. If this is what we're gonna get out of Anthony Richardson for his career, I mean, you're just looking at the next Tannehill. For me, when I say Tannehill is overrated, when I say Herbert was overrated, after last night, I think I can safely say that he's not overrated anymore because people are trashing on him. We'll get to that, but I'll tell you what, if people are still saying like Anthony Richardson is so good, like he's all blah blah, and I'm just like, I'm not gonna. I mean, that's why I say good. I'm not gonna sit here and say Anthony Richardson is bad, right? I can't say he's good either though, because he's not on the fucking field. But I'll tell you what, is if he gets another season-ending injury within week 5 next year, which obviously when injuries suck, and I hate to I don't mean to boast or go on about them or rag on somebody about injuries, but I'm just staying facts. If he gets injured in the next 5 weeks, first 5 weeks of next year, which I think he will, then he's a bust. I mean,
I
he could
think,
be a
but
fantastic
everyone, yeah,
quarterback, but
but
he
everyone will say
can't
that.
help you when he's on IR.
Yeah, everyone would agree. Everyone would agree with that, though.
I sure hope so. I
Yeah,
really
no,
do, because
sure.
dude, Bryce Young got taken first overall. CJ Stroud got taken second overall, and Desmond Ridder has been playing better. But guess what? This entire offseason, the first like 3-4 weeks, it's Richardson this, Richardson that. Now it's changed a little bit, whereas Bryce Young has been playing like shit. CJ Stroud is now a little more talked about. Desmond Ridder still really isn't that talked about. But everyone was doing all this stuff like, oh, this new Colts quarterback. And I'm like, wasn't this like the third or fourth quarterback taken in the draft? Why are we talking about this guy?
I did
And
like
I
it
still don't understand why we were talking about this guy.
because he's polarized.
It just makes no sense to me. I wouldn't. It would have made a lot more sense to me if people were talking up CJ Stroud like they were Richardson, and I was like confused, right? Like I was about Richardson, and then Stroud came out and did what he's been doing. Then I would be like, I guess I get why I heard his name more than Bryce Young, but Richardson, absolutely not. I do not get it.
We'll see.
Anyways,
I've been
we
seeing
both
Stroud.
agree that
I've been seeing
we both
Stroud
take the Browns.
a lot. But
Commanders, Giants. Giants put up an impressive almost win, should have win, refs, whatever.
yeah, but you know what's funny though, and this I'll tell you right now. Nick Wright said this, I think, yesterday on First Things First, and I couldn't have agreed more with him. I don't know if it was First Things First in the podcast, but he said, you know what? He said you can argue that that the Bills didn't deserve to win that game with the refs or whatever, but the Giants didn't deserve to win that game either. Like, they did not deserve to win that freaking game at all. At all.
I mean, yeah, but out of the two teams that didn't deserve to win the game, I think the Giants did a little more just because of not only like their situation where they suck and they were good and all this other stuff going on, and you kind of feel bad for the team, but also because they were using a backup quarterback and they were playing against one of the best teams in the league. If you are the Bills, you cannot put up that performance against the Giants. The Giants, it's okay to put up that performance against the Bills because you're the Giants and they're the Bills.
No, but this is who the Bills are. This is who they've been. This is who Josh Allen is.
I mean, I'll just be honest.
He looks like the best quarterback ever one day, and then he looks like the worst another day.
At the end of the day, all I have to say about this game is that was a hold at the end, and a friggin' Stevie Wonder was
put up more than
saying
9
what
points.
The fuck.
Put up more than 9 points. But you want to complain about a freaking holding call, for Christ's sakes.
Dude.
God, I'm so sick of that.
His jersey was practically ripped off.
Yeah, it was. So what? I mean, what do you like? Okay.
So they didn't. I mean,
there was probably 7 other missed calls too that aren't getting talked about.
Did I say that the refs lost them this game? Absolutely not.
Did I
said that's a hold.
Did I say
you have to call that?
Did I say you said that? No, I didn't. This has been a topic on this podcast, though, about how we've spoke about how people do that. You even texted me after the game. Here we go. People are going to be blaming the refs. I'm simply responding to that.
That one hit me different. It was one of those things where
why though? What do you
I saw it with a blind eye, and I was like, Jesus. Personally, I think the reason that wasn't called was because they just called the same thing to put it to 3 zeros on the clock, and they were like, "What are we gonna do it again?" It's like, yeah, you are if the team is deserving of it happening. I think the play call was great. I said if they run Saquon here, they're gonna get eaten up, and they called a pass. I think the play call was great.
We're getting off track here though. I think the Commanders are gonna win, and like I said, I texted you this on Sunday, and I've been saying this for a little while now, man. I really enjoy watching the Commanders. I don't know if it's like, they got a new feel to it. They got new ownership in the organization. There's just a different vibe to that Washington team that I haven't seen since I've been watching football. And, I just think, eventually, look, I'm not saying that they're going to be a Super Bowl contender team. I just think that they're going to now consistently be a fun team to watch week in and week out.
Maybe it's the fact that they called them a football team for about 2 years, but I always just view Washington as just kind of it being a football team. They're there, they exist.
No, no, I see.
And
I
wait,
have
wait,
them.
let me finish. Let me finish. I'm just trying to say, I admit, I do admit that a lot of that is probably the branding. The fact that we called them the football. Like I was just thinking about the Ravens. If they called them the Baltimore football team, like I'd probably feel pretty similar. For me, there's nothing about that team that just jumps out to me. There's players that are above average, like Chase Young or Terry McLaurin, but there's no one like, oh, like that, like crazy Lamar Jackson running the ball, or did you see that Justin Jefferson catch? There's just no real huge difference makers on that team. And overall, it's just a group of solid guys that can win a game or lose a game. That's how I see the Redskins.
I hear you, and that's yours. But
Understood. Yeah.
no. But my point is, because I'm talking about from when I was watching them from when I was a kid to now, even when they were called like the other name. But like, so it doesn't have. So for me, it doesn't have anything to do with them being called the football team. But they've just always been like, I don't know, like when you get new ownership and you got a lot of young guys, you got a different type of branding. It starts to feel a little more exciting, and you're more into these games. I don't know, and they're just overall playing better. So I just think it's exciting. They're a team who I don't expect to make a run in the playoffs or anything, but I am now excited to watch the Commanders play on a weekly basis, which I haven't been able to say in ever in my whole life.
I guess I get that. Just because when I know I'm not sure how long ago it's been, probably like the mid 2010s since the NBA had a new team or expansion or something, but NHL they did it what in like 2021 when they got the Seattle team, and that was always a fun one to watch just because they were new. Vegas, I don't know if you knew this, in 2017, Vegas's first year in the NHL, they made it to the finals, which was absolutely crazy. And that was all fun just because it was Ovechkin. It was literally Ovechkin going for his first cup in the finals versus this team who was in their first year in the league. And it was like, damn, like whoever wins this matchup wins. And at the end of the day, Ovechkin ended up winning, and then Vegas won 5 years later. So everyone
Yeah.
loves that. Spoilers. um, Lions Ravens. I'm excited for this game. I really,
So
really like this matchup.
I think this is going to be the game of the week for me, and
Mhm.
I want to just say this, right?
Not the next one.
No. I think that's gonna be a boring game. But
Yeah, Mackey
um
for 300.
from a standpoint of the Lions now going into it, I remember me and you kind of had, well, I don't know if we had similar thoughts. Well, I didn't think they were gonna win the division, obviously. You thought, what's the big deal about this team? Yeah, I think they're gonna be a playoff team, but I think people were making them both. I think we were both wrong. And
Oh,
man, they're starting to look like Jared Goff. Like it's time to start having discussions, possible MVP candidate. Like that
yeah,
that just you have to start
not
having
even
these
mad.
conversations. And I didn't like how the Ravens looked last week. Um, the Lions just look like they're catching they're starting to catch their stride too. Like
Mhm.
they're getting better. Like they are improving. And again, I don't know if this is also just because like the Ravens, just bad taste in my mouth. Odell's clearly not what they thought he was gonna be.
I mean, yeah.
Lamar's good, but yeah, I don't know. I like the Lions.
I also like the Lions. I think that if the Ravens win this week, then I personally will start looking at the Ravens like the Lions, as long as it isn't like a weird kind of win. Like I look at the Lions right now as like, damn, like this team, like I expected them to be good, but damn. And I
Especially,
I I see the Ravens as being a potential candidate to do the same thing if they win this week. I'll be like, damn, I thought the Ravens were gonna be good, but damn, they got one of the best records in the AFC.
yeah, I think I'm more like for me. like I agree with you. I think like looking at it from that standpoint, you're right. But I think it's more so the fact that it's like, okay, the Cowboys have shown that at times they've looked a little weird. The Eagles, like regardless of their winning, like Hurts isn't Hurts this year. And then also the 49ers, it's like, okay, like yeah, like they're gonna be
I
around,
still
but
take the 49ers.
no, I know, but I'm saying like the obvious like injuries always happens to the 49ers. And then you see, well, Brock Purdy can't do it on his own because he's not that guy, which is fine. But I'm just saying, and that's a huge possibility of that might have to happen. But that's why I'm saying, like, I'm not sitting here saying that the Lions are gonna make the Super Bowl, but I am looking at it now, like, wow, they could make it interesting. Like I know we've been looking at it as like it's a three-way race in the NFC. I think the Lions you have to start including in there if they win this weekend.
I and I think that their loss to the Seahawks only made them better. Because I think the Seahawks are a perfect team to lose to if you're the Lions. It's a wild card playoff team. So when I say that, I mean like it's a challenging team to go up against. It's no cakewalk. Definitely one you have to watch out for. They did end up upsetting the Lions. Well, these days, now that we know that they ended up 5-1, that's an upset. But I think because of that, the Lions aren't 6-0, and 6-0 would basically mean you're gonna bust in the playoffs. Everyone's like, "Oh, you're over." So I think being 5-1 is better than being 6-0 at this point. And also, I think that the fact that they beat the Chiefs, they beat teams that are better than the Seahawks, right? And they beat the team they won the week they were supposed to win. So the fair challenge week is the one they lost. And I'll tell you what, I think if the Seahawks and the Lions played again, playoffs, regular season, whatever, Seahawks are getting absolutely freaking wiped.
Um,
Done. Done.
yeah,
Done.
I'm not gonna reply to
Done.
that
Done.
Chiefs.
Done.
I'm not gonna reply to that Chiefs comment for obvious reasons, but because I'm enjoying the Lions. But I think also that it's important to know too that that Seahawks loss came the week after they did beat the Chiefs, so
Hang
might have
on.
been
Yeah.
riding on a little bit of a high there as well. Um, so yeah,
I think we have time to kill the next two. So let's just
yeah.
jump to the next one and just give me one second. Now I don't have access to all the candles that First Take did, but
Now that same kitchen lighter, like that same exact
really,
one,
I
same
think
color.
it's time that we have an intervention for you, Mike.
With who? The Patriots?
Are the Patriots a bottom five team in the league?
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Now you're switching it. You said bottom three.
Oh, they a bottom three. Sure.
No, they're not a bottom three.
The first step to getting help is accepting that you need it.
Trust me, I know that one. But
What are they doing good?
they're not doing anything good. But there's three teams worse than them.
I mean,
Who's
name one
saying
player that's doing good. Name a player.
why do you keep saying to name a player? We're talking about a team. We had the same
Adam
argument last week.
Thielen.
What?
Adam Thielen's playing better than anyone on the Patriots. DJ Moore playing better than anyone on the Patriots. We got some bright spots for all these teams. There are none on this Patriots team.
That's the stupidest shit I've ever heard in my life.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Look,
There are places you can go to get help.
I mean,
Mac
like
Jones just cost Devontae Parker and Mac Jones just cost you $600, Mike.
let's not talk about that.
You're making me. I did. You notice how I didn't bring it up at first. I gave you a chance. I gave you a chance.
Move on from that. Move on.
That being said, the Patriots are gonna win. No, I'm kidding. Kidding.
The Bills are gonna win. But
Holy shit.
no, it's you're making no logical sense to me personally because I don't think the Patriots are doing anything good. I think the Patriots are a bad team. They're a bad football team. What else more do you want me to say? Sorry, I just happen to think that there's three worse teams. There's a lot of bad teams, and that as great as this season is, there's a lot of bad NFL teams this year too.
One argument I'll have for a worst team, and that's their record aside. I understand they're the only 0-6 team, but I do have to say the Panthers. I think the Bears are better. The Patriots are the only team not to have scored 20 points at all this season. Um, the Bears looked great in that game. They showed potential. The Arizona Cardinals, the first 3 weeks, all those matchups were close. They showed potential. James Conner is playing fantastic. Joshua Dobbs, he's not even a starter. He's not even a starter. Kyler Murray's the starter, and they're still doing decent.
The Patriots didn't show potential in the first 2 weeks.
Less than the Cardinals.
No. Oh, no, that's not true.
Less than the Cardinals.
True. Stop. I don't even, you know what? I don't even have to say the Cardinals. Panthers, Giants, and Bears, and the Vikings. I'm going to go on the limit and say the Vikings are worse than the Patriots. Vikings. Yeah.
Oh, my God. Giants, okay. Giants, bottom three teams are the Giants, the Panthers, and the Patriots.
I disagree.
That's how it is.
But it's like, it's such a like minuscule thing we're arguing because it's like, okay, like, if you really want that to be, it's like, okay, like, I'm not saying there's not an argument for the Patriots to be a bottom three team. Like you're almost like, you're like forcing this on me to feel more of a way about it than I actually do. Like, I don't care. Like,
that's a Mike thing. You just naturally do that.
Do what?
Like if someone says, have a good day, and you're like, no. And they're like, no, have a good day. And you're like, no. And like, have a good day. Then you're like, no, I'm going to go out of my way. I'll make sure I have a fucking bad day. That's just that's how you work as a human.
No. But how is that for this situation though? I'm saying you can make the argument. I'm not saying you can't. I'm saying you want me to like admit something that I'm admitting. Like I think the Patriots are bad. You
admit they're a bottom three team.
Okay, I'll tell you this. I think you can make an argument they are, but I personally don't. I'm not trying to sway anyone off of it. You can make an argument though. They're not a good team. Yes, there you go. Like they're not a good team. But I don't
want to know what wish I made. If I tell you the wish, it won't come true. But
I don't know. Like I just don't know what. I don't know. Like I feel like you think that I think they're better than they are, and I don't understand it. I'm just saying, like, all those arguments you have for those other teams, like, I could basically make those same arguments for the Patriots. And then you're talking about individual players, like, it's like.
I'm talking about they need to revamp everything. I mean, if you look at the Bears, you don't get rid of DJ Moore.
You're right, but that's a different conversation.
Well, I know. I'm just saying. It's just one of the many things I could say negatively about the Patriots. If you're revamping the Panthers, you keep Bryce Young. He just got there. You keep Thielen. He's doing good. If you totally revamp the Cardinals, you keep James Conner. If you revamp the what was I saying? The Bears, you keep Fields. Maybe you keep DJ. There's no one on the page. Maybe Judon, but he's on IR.
I agree.
Anyways, we should probably.
Okay, yeah, we'll go back on this. Let me stop the recording. All right, so we're back. So if we
Seahawks, move on.
If we didn't make it clear enough, we think the Bills are going to beat the Patriots. And we also think the Seahawks are going to beat the Cardinals, who always give it a good half. So we can move on to the next game. Oh wait,
my time with that one. Yeah,
you're letting me take the lead with this one, right?
Yeah.
All right. So we got Rams Steelers. The game that me and Joe have been damn near are gonna probably stop being friends over by the time this game ends on Sunday.
Probably.
And this is what I'll say, right? Because Joe makes me hate the Rams. So like when it comes up to me having to predict the games against the Rams, like I really am now trying to not show any bias. It's so difficult. But you know what? I actually was gonna take them until I realized
Yeah.
their 2 running backs are out, and they have a 6th-round rookie at running back this week.
Wait. Kyron Williams is out. Who else is out?
Rivers. That was their
I don't
second.
even heard of that fucker.
Yeah, he's their second backup, who's actually pretty good too. But Williams, from what I've seen, has been kicking ass this year for them.
But Williams has been great, but I'm less. I mean, I'm impressed by Williams. Don't get me wrong. I'm very impressed by. I'm impressed by the team. I'm impressed by Williams, but I'm more impressed with obviously Puka Nacua. And now that Cooper Kupp is back, that duo is dangerous. They don't know who they got to put their top corner on.
Can I finish? Can I finish my point? Or... Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll allow it.
Kind of but this is kind of what I was saying about whichever game, I forget what it is. And you're going to see this on Sunday. It is so much harder so much easier for the defense when they know you have to pass the ball now for basically the whole game. It makes a defense so much easier because now they don't have to do a man. They don't have to be man. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be, my best corner's on this. They can play a nice zone. They can have a lot of people spaced out. Like it frees up a lot. And the Steelers have been the Steelers have just been, they haven't really been underwhelming in a sense, but I feel like their defense has been underwhelming compared to what people at least thought it was going to be this year. It still has helped them win games, but it's still been underwhelming, especially if you look at the numbers. But I don't know. I just think that I don't think the Rams have this great defense. I like the Steelers, if I haven't said it. And I'll tell you this much, though. If the Rams were fully healthy, I would probably pick the Rams because I do think that combination would be a little too much for the Steelers defense at this moment because I'm not too hot on them. But I think because of that, I like the Steelers.
Well, I'm glad that I got your side a little bit on at least thinking that fully healthy, the Rams are the better team, or at least better in this matchup. I'm glad I got your side on that because I know you're biased towards Pittsburgh these days. So good work.
No, I don't think they're better. Maybe head to head.
Win.
Maybe head to head. I think the Steelers.
That's why I said in the matchup.
Yeah, I was gonna say because I do think the Steelers will have a better record.
I just don't have faith in Kenny Pickett. I don't know. He's won them games. Absolutely. I think they're 3-2. Are they 3-2?
3-3, I think. Or maybe no, they are. Yeah, you're right. Because they had a bye.
Obviously he's not out there shitting the bed like I thought he might this year. He was pretty hyped up going into his sophomore year, and I saw none of it. Thought they might be 1-4 at this point, honestly. So props to him for not shitting the bed, but I still don't feel like I can have faith in him. I can't, be friggin' in a burning building and seeing him at the bottom of said burning building and throw my dog out to him. I don't rely on him to catch that dog. Now, Matt Stafford, Puka Nacua, I kind of can count on them to catch the dog. I mean, as long as it's a light dog, like I can count on Patrick Mahomes to catch my fat ass yellow lab because it's Patrick Mahomes. Of course, he's gonna catch the damn thing. But I just trust the Rams more. I feel like they've shown me that they're a more, what's the word? Like
consistent?
To be
consistent?
up to the same standard all the time.
Consistent.
Yes. That was a good definition, to be up to the same standard all the time. The Rams are a more consistent team to me. The Pittsburgh defense is not what I thought they would be. Like if this was falling out of the story, I would trust the Rams to catch this more than the Steelers. But that being said, I appreciate the fact that you're at least acknowledging the Rams you know, well, because if they were healthy, right, and you said you would take the Rams, they'd have a positive record. Like after this week, obviously, we don't know how the rest of the season is going to pan out. But 7 weeks in, you have a positive record, and you were looked at as one of the worst teams in the league. Pretty good for yourself. So I acknowledge that. Well, anyways, if you're done with that,
Yeah, I'm done.
Chargers Chiefs, I am taking the upset. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I was sitting on my couch and I was like, I just kind of feel like this next week is when the Chiefs are gonna kind of take a sleeping pill. They've been steamrolling, even with Kelsey getting injured. He came right back in and started going at it. I just feel like they're on cruise control right now. And so when I was sitting there, I was like, if they are on cruise control against the wrong team, I think I could see an upset next week. So I looked, and sure enough, I saw the Chargers, and I said to myself, this is definitely a team that could pull it. Not only are they an above average team to me, and I hope to everyone else, but they're a division rival. So not only is that the case, but they're also very familiar with the Chiefs' style of play. Now, on the other hand, the Chiefs are the better team. They're in the same division, and they know the Chargers' style of play. But for whatever reason, I just feel like the Chiefs are a little too much on cruise control right now. And they're because here's the thing is they are so used to at this point being on cruise control, right? Whereas someone like the Eagles, like this is kind of their second year where they have such a great record. The 49ers, they always seem to have a great record, but like, they have a lot of new pieces in there right now, a lot of potential worries. They just lost to the Browns. The Dolphins, but that they haven't been good for years. But I just feel like the Chiefs have always been, other than like that one year, in a situation where they are like what 5-1, 4-1, whatever. And I feel like they're gonna kick back a little too much this week. I think you told me you expect a Chiefs blowout, right?
No, no, no. I didn't say a blowout. No. Let me just say this, right? Um, I hear what you're saying, but I think that the Chiefs, the Chiefs are so good now that I compare them to like when I would watch like the Warriors in the regular season years ago, and they would beat the Kings by like 5 points when the Kings were really bad, and everyone would be like, oh, I don't know, and they're playing the Cavs now, they might lose, and I would just be like, the Warriors are a smart enough team to know, and there's a very amount of few teams who could turn it on and turn it off. The Chiefs aren't stupid. The Chiefs know that they can't turn it. The Chiefs are very well aware that they cannot go into this game on cruise control. They know the Chargers. It's a divisional matchup. They understand greatly that the Chargers could catch them lacking. So that's my first point. Is I think that the Chiefs are that great, and I think that Nick,
Okay,
Nick
yes,
Wright,
of course.
Nick Wright on First Things First has said since the Lions game that every single game up until November 5th when they play the Dolphins is a just a national televised practice for the Chiefs.
It's good.
Which is funny, but
It's
I
good.
think that the Chiefs are clearly Patrick Mahomes is clearly pretty pissed off at how they look. Like I've never seen a team be like 5-1 and like you mean you got people talking about them like they're 2-4 right now. I'm not saying you, I know you're not, but I'm saying like there's
No,
people who are
absolutely
doing
not.
that, and it's like to an extent I do get it because and Patrick Mahomes even said in the postgame interview like he's like yo like we are not where we want to be right now. But with that being said, I think after this week, man, this might be a hot take. I think the Chargers are defeated. I think
You
they are
think,
defeated,
damn,
and they're done. Like I think they're drawn dead in the water. I don't think this team doesn't mesh on a chemistry level. I still think Justin Herbert's great, but
mm,
you know,
I mean, I'll
I
tell
don't
you
think
what
he's
is
great.
less.
I don't think he's great enough to be the leader to be like, hey, let's go. Like this season's not over. We could still do this. Like, I just I don't know. Like, and now technically they're in third place in their division because the
Um,
Raiders are above them. And so now I think I think they're just like
right. And the Raiders are gonna win this week. And the Raiders are gonna win this week.
that's what I'm saying. So
But
I think there's a part of them that is like maybe not like consciously but subconsciously where it's just like, man, like this.
dude, the Raiders got a cupcake schedule, damn. But I was gonna say, I don't know how much of the Rams game, or I'm sorry, the Chargers game you ended up just catching glimpses. I know you didn't watch it, but glimpses of,
Mm,
dude, it's just a lot of them beating themselves up. The offensive line had penalty after penalty, and it just would so happen that like it's after a big play. And like I know I've been on the side of like, oh well, yeah, if the play wasn't complete, blah blah blah. I'm looking at these penalties and I'm like, no, you gotta like this is you have to call that. That is so freaking obvious. I'm sure you've seen Herbert's wide open Keenan Allen miss as a meme the last 24 hours.
mm,
It's they beat themselves and that's who I think the Chargers are a better team than they allow themselves to be because you simply can't take penalties like that. You have big big names making big moves on all sides of the ball in all positions, other than the O line. I guess I don't really know any of the O line, but
yeah, but that's
I
why I
just
mean,
yeah.
and that's why people for the last few years they've had a lot of stock in the Chargers, but and rightfully so. But again, like I don't think it just starts from last game. It starts from this season. It starts from the playoffs last year, blowing that lead. Like I just think that they've had such a run of just like I can't see them coming into this game with any sort of confidence. Like they could try to fake it, but at the end of the day, man, I mean, look, not to say they still can't get a win, but I don't know. I think it's going to be tough, obviously. So
Anyways, yeah, Packers Broncos. Not too much to say here. I assume we're both going to take the Packers on this one. Good. They got a lot of rest last week, obviously with the bye.
coming off a bad
Yeah,
loss.
yeah, exactly. They're ready to come back and kick some ass, and I think they will against this Broncos team.
I think
That
real quick.
sucks.
I think this would be a good game because Jordan Love started off the season pretty good and people were praising him and stuff. And then as of recent now, people have been, killing him, and I get it, rightfully so. I think this is
Yeah.
a I think this is a good game for Jordan Love to have, to have a good game and feel a little more confident about himself and to carry on and continue for the rest of the season.
Start over. Yeah. I feel like last week, if you're a team that's been playing, that it was the perfect week for the Packers to have a bye week where they start off strong and then and it's like, all right, let's hit the reset button. We're not exactly halfway through the year yet. We still have over 50% of our games to go. We got a good sample size. We got some experience in there. We're well rested. Let's hit the reset button because, things started to get a little shaky there at the end. We know that we're better than what we've been doing. We have the easiest schedule in the league. Let's turn some heads. I
Yeah.
think this was a perfect time for the Packers to have their bye week. But anyways, Dolphins Eagles. And I think the first thing we should say, obviously, is when we were on break between our Zoom meetings, the Eagles signed Julio Jones. Um, we didn't say it. We just both kind of looked at our phones. We're like, wow, what if Mike was just now like, but I'll be honest, I don't think this affects them that much. I'll be real with you. And you can argue differently, and that's great and all. I think Julio Jones is a great football mind, a great player. I think the greatest change is going to have is or the corners are going to have a different man to cover. But if you remember when the Buccaneers wide receiver core, when they got Julio Jones, looked so similar, right? Where you got Mike Evans and you got Chris Godwin, who are, who's number one, right? People would say Mike Evans, but like, you could argue just as much for Godwin. Then you got AJ Brown and you got Devontae Smith. Who's number one? Neither one could really be, but most people go with AJ Brown these days. It was Devontae Smith to begin. It's interchanging. And then you got your third, which is Julio Jones. I'll be honest with you. I don't remember a single friggin' pass that Tom Brady threw to Julio Jones that year, which is why I say I don't think this affects the game that much. But
Well,
obviously, we're talking about a very dynamic and historic player here in Julio Jones.
I
So I
guess
wouldn't be surprised if someone felt differently.
I guess the only thing, I mean, I actually agree with you, but I guess the only thing I would, push on you with is like it may open up the field a little bit more, which might
That's
give
what I said.
Jalen
Yeah,
Hurts,
that's the
yeah,
one change.
yeah, which which
Where the
which could
corners don't know who to cover. Exactly.
which again could be a real it could go either way. It could make a really big difference. It could not.
Yeah,
That
I think
being
it's a good
said,
signing. That being said, I don't think it's a bad signing by them. I think
yeah, yeah.
if I was them, I would have gone for another position. But I mean, hey, if
But
they looked into the other positions and no one was there, Julio Jones is there. Fred
I,
Julio Jones, absolutely. I thought the man existed, to be honest.
I agree with you. Like I don't think it hurts, but you're right. Like I don't think this pushes them over to like like I agree.
But
But
if we're talking 2016,
yeah, no, of course, of course, of course.
Jesus,
But
Jesus, Jimmy.
now with that being said, I I think the Dolphins are gonna win, and I think I'm not saying it's gonna be a blowout, but I hope this is a good game, but I don't think it's gonna be that great of a game. Dude, with the way that Hurts has been playing, man, like this isn't a case of last year, like, and because we kept saying it was, but now that I'm looking at it, like it's not. Like Hurts was playing good last year, and even though like some of those games were close, like Hurts isn't playing good this year or up to his standards. Like he and I just don't, and I just think the Dolphins' offense is so good that I just
Mhm.
don't think the Eagles are going to be able to keep up with that offense, man. I really don't. And I don't think their defense is going to hold them. I don't know. Like, I think this game has the chance to get out of hand. I'm not saying it's going to, but I wouldn't be surprised if it did.
I The reason I'm smiling so much is because I think it's so interesting that I think last we've been discussing it for a couple weeks, but I think last week you said it on here that you enjoy how like I look at like the statistic or not statistics so much, but like paper or like players and stuff like that, like defenses, offenses, like this guy, that guy, and you're more like, oh, the mindsets, like blah blah blah, and you're out here talking about, oh well, the offense, the defense, and I'm gonna come in here and talk about the mindset right now,
Bro, I
and
love it.
I'm
I
gonna
love it.
say I'm gonna take the Eagles in an upset. I think in a Dolphins Eagles Super Bowl, Dolphins are gonna freaking destroy them. I think the Dolphins are a superior team. I like the Dolphins more. I want the Dolphins to win. I don't want the Eagles to win. But I think that Jalen Hurts, as bad as he's been playing, a loss not only might it be a wake up call, but it also I don't think that let me start rephrasing. He has a winning mindset, the way that like he's like, oh, like he's lost like two games ever. I don't know the exact number, but he has such a winning mindset that I can definitely see him doing everything to avoid losing 2 weeks in a row. I don't think that I don't want to say that I don't think that he's capable of losing 2 weeks in a row because obviously we're looking at a different guy, and that's Patrick Mahomes level shit. They're not capable of losing two in a row, but he's close. I would say he's a player that's closer than Tua, anyways, just because of that winning mentality that he has of like not being able to lose 2 weeks in a row. So personally, I think that the Dolphins are a better team. I like the Dolphins more, even though they're in the Patriots conference. I would like to see the Dolphins make and even win the Super Bowl this year, but and I would not like to see the Eagles do the same. Um, but I'll take the Eagles in this matchup. I think this week we're gonna see kind of what we saw last year from these players, and it's gonna be kind of like, whoa, did like that just turn around the Eagles season? Now, I was discussing with you not sure if you audience members, all three of you, I'm not sure if you guys know this, but the Eagles schedule, like after the next couple of weeks is tough. It's bad. So like when I say like I think they're gonna win this week, I could definitely see them losing like two or three more games in the next like by the end of the year. You know what I mean? Like I don't think they're gonna become this juggernaut or anything off of winning this week against a obvious fantastic team in the Dolphins, but I don't know. I see this being a good game,
You
and
know
I
what?
think that the Eagles come out on top. I wouldn't be surprised if the Dolphins win, but I would be a little surprised given that the Eagles lost. If the Eagles didn't lose, I would take the Dolphins. I
You
would
know,
definitely take the Dolphins.
you good? You done? Okay. You know what's funny in like a weird way? I think we both agree with each other, even though we think like the outcomes are going to be different. Because it's like I think like again, I'm not predicting a blowout. I just think Dolphins are going to win, but I think you agree with me that there is a world where it could get out of hand. Like if Hurts plays how he's been playing, this game could get out of hand. But on the other hand, like again, I hate Philadelphia, but I I love Jalen Hurts personally. Like I think I love the way that he approaches like the game. I love his mindset and mentality. So I think you're right too. Like I could so see a scenario where, I mean, if this is gonna look, if there's gonna be any game to swing your momentum on the season, it's gonna be this one. Like so, it's
I
it's gonna
mean,
be a
and
good
the
game.
other thing you have to take note of that's really important is the Dolphins' offense. Like I said, we could talk for days about them, but we can't really talk for days about the Dolphins' defense. And although I think the Jets, maybe not these days, just because Aaron Rodgers is, not there. I think they're an overhyped team, but I definitely think that their defense is significantly better than the Dolphins' defense.
Yeah.
And on another note, it's also very important to see if Darius Slay, I'm not sure if you know who that is, their key cornerback. He
Yeah.
was not playing yesterday or whenever the hell that game was, Sunday. He was not playing. I think I'm not sure the extent. From what it sounded like, it was kind of a last minute decision that he wasn't ready to play.
Mhm.
That being given, obviously take this with a grain of salt. I think he'll be ready for the Dolphins game, but that is a key player in there because if you don't have Darius Slay, then you might as well have like Tyreek and Waddle wide open.
Yeah. And again, I'm not saying
And wait before you continue, I'm sorry. Let's also add that Chase Claypool is probably gonna make his Dolphins debut this week.
Yeah, I'm not saying the Eagles defense. I think the Eagles have a good defense. I mean, obviously, but I just think the Dolphins offense is just historical. So I think that it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like I think against any team, the there always runs that risk that the Dolphins can make the game just get out of hand. I think with any team in the league this year. So I don't
Yeah,
know.
absolutely.
I hope it's more interesting than I think it'll be though. That's for
Of
sure.
course. Um, talk about a game that
Why? Why?
won't be interesting.
Why?
The 49ers ought to just raise the white flag now, man.
Yeah. But this
Dude,
is
no, it's the same. It's the same
wait,
thing. It's the same thing I said with the Eagles. They're not going to lose 2 weeks in a row.
but we could take this time now to discuss the 49ers a little bit if you want to.
Okay.
Um
First, we got to make it clear we're both going to take the 49ers in this Vike up again. This is Vike up, nice. In this matchup, like, I don't know. They didn't even fucking rhyme, but in
dude,
this
against
matchup against the Vikings, we're taking the Niners. Monday
against
Night
prime
Football.
time Kirk.
Oh
Prime time
no!
Kirk. This game's gonna be let me tell you something. This game is gonna be a disaster.
Is this the first primetime Kirk game we've had this year?
No,
It's
I
the
think
first one,
no,
and they're already 2-1, 2 and
no, I
4.
think I think they had a Thursday night one or something. Didn't they have one versus the Chiefs that was a night game or no?
No, that was 4. That was at 4 o'clock.
That was night for me. But the the
No.
the
Primetime Kirk without Justin Jefferson. Are you kidding me?
so with the
Oh,
49ers, I thought it was pretty interesting because
shouldn't have said that. Now all I want to talk about is
I,
primetime Kirk.
because I thought I it was very interesting to see the shift in people speaking about Brock Purdy um this week. Like very, very, very interesting. And I think, and I'm not trying to be hard on Brock Purdy because he really didn't have like it was tough, but I think that proves that he's not who some people say he is. and he just can't be compared to some of the quarterbacks that people have been comparing him to.
Well, let me just say, I'm glad you didn't jump on my ass because, of course, last week I was out here defending Brock Purdy, but if I can just quickly explain what I was saying, and you can go back and watch it. I was not out here saying that Brock Purdy is a top 10 quarterback. I was saying, well, I was saying he was, but here's what my explanation was because we hadn't seen him put into a field of adversity, right? That's what I said. What has he done to prove that he's not a top 10 quarterback? He hasn't lost. Like, he hasn't been put in any of these situations where the game rested on his shoulders. Injuries stack up, and he needed to pull a Tom Brady out of his ass. We finally got a situation like that. Browns defense aside, we finally got a situation where he lost his best running back. He lost one of his top receivers, and it was time for him to put the team on his shoulders. And that's what a franchise or a great quarterback does in those kinds of situations. That was his moment, and he let it get away from him. And I'm not sure if you watched First Things First, but they were talking about how if he had made the field goal, how different that would be. And I say it wouldn't have made a difference in how I think. Like, even what's all right, with the lack of better way to describe him, what's the black guy's name on First Things First?
Chris Broussard. Oh no,
So he was saying,
wait, Chris or Greg Jennings?
did you watch the segment?
Yeah, but Chris
Whatever guy said that Brock Purdy's rating would have gone up from an F to a D.
Yeah, that was Broussard.
That's Chris. You can't say that. He wasn't even on the freaking field. Like, I get that in that situation where you're like, well, he led the team to win. I don't care. I do not care about that field goal. What I care about is, did he put the team in a position to win? Yes, he did. They missed the field goal. But we're going to jump on the Mike bandwagon here and say, Brock Purdy should have put them in a position where they didn't need that field goal to win.
And I'll take it a step further, because speaking on that, now that since you brought up that segment, I also want to bring up something that Nick said. Nick brought up such a great point about how everybody, not you, but how everybody is treating Brock Purdy now, because it's like last week people were saying that he should win an MVP. And if you want to be this great MVP caliber quarterback, and then he plays like that, and everyone goes, "Oh well, he didn't have the weapons." That wouldn't happen with all these other quarterbacks. That doesn't happen. You know what I mean? So it's like that right there is kind of just proof that it's like. And by the way, Brock Purdy's still a good quarterback. Like, I don't think he's a bad quarterback. He's still a good quarterback. He's just not that guy. Now, again, he's only in his second year. Maybe he does become that guy. Maybe he does. But as of right now, they need to stop putting him in those conversations.
I was going to say I want to talk a little bit about Jimmy G too, because I kind of I'm putting pieces together here, as we're saying things out loud. But you're absolutely right. We're talking about, are we considering Brock Purdy a rookie? I don't think so, just because he played quite a few games last year. We're talking about a quarterback that has not played 16, 17 regular season games yet. So the fact that he isn't out here saving the day doesn't mean that one of these seasons, next year, the year after, hell, even the year after that, he's not going to be the guy that saves the day. He could end up being the guy that saves the day. But we're talking about a quarterback here, like I said, in his second year. Now, Brady was out there winning rings in his second year. Mahomes was out there competing for rings in his second year.
But
that just means he's not Brady or Mahomes. Honestly, that's a ceiling if there ever was one. So who cares?
But wait. Brady, like people didn't start. Brady had like 3 rings, and people still weren't thinking he was all that, because his first 3 rings were, and I'm not trying to, like, he did his thing, but were significantly carried by the defense. So there was a time too. There was a long stretch of time where Brady had rings.
How about a 6th ring carried by the defense?
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, like, people, that was a legitimate thing back then, where it was like, we haven't seen Brady in the clutch like that. But this is the problem though, Joe. Like, people pick and choose with Purdy. People want to use that he's already this caliber player because he just played this short many games and he's done this and done that. And now he does this, and it's like I look like a hater because it's like I'm saying that the guy's not freaking Joe Montana, but it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, like, but you guys were not again, not you, but like the articles and things that are being put out there that was like they're putting him to this pedestal. So it's like, okay, if you're gonna put him to this pedestal, then when he has a bad game like this, don't be like, oh well, he has time. Don't give me that because you wouldn't give those same people those benefit of the doubt. You wouldn't do it. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt because I don't think he's this incredible player yet. Again, I do think he can grow into it, especially if he stays with the Niners. If he stays consistent enough and they have a really good career, win a couple rings, then yeah, you can start building that resume up. But people were jumping the gun, and now it makes this a performance like this, which, like you said, like it's not a big deal. This guy's played like 16 games. He had a bad game against a good defense with no help. Like that's okay. But with the way everyone was hyping him up, it's like now it's like, okay, now you guys need to just take a chill pill, come back to reality. He's a good quarterback. That's what he is
Well,
right
there's an area in there that directly contradicts what I was going to say about Brock Purdy and Jimmy G. And that is that these quarterbacks, I think, have so much more potential, especially Jimmy G, because now he's kind of getting past his prime, than they could have had. And the reason is because they were with the 49ers and Jimmy G, the Patriots. Because here's the thing, you are absolutely right where you say any quarterback can be put in a position with the 49ers and succeed because of what they have there, right? They have all these things. And that honestly is an issue for developing a player like Brock Purdy or Jimmy Garoppolo because you give him Deebo Samuel, you give him Brandon Ayuk, you give him George Kittle, you give him all these things. And it's like if one thing's not working, oh, it's okay, buddy. It's okay, Buttercup. You can do this other thing and it's going to work great for you. Whereas if he plays for pretty much any other team in the league, he's forced to make tough decisions when things aren't working. He can't be carried by Christian McCaffrey or Brandon Ayuk this game, Deebo Samuel this game, the defense another game, you know? And that honestly, I think hurts his development. And let's talk, that's why we're going to talk about Jimmy G for a second. Let's do the same exact thing. Obviously, the 49ers situation hasn't changed too much over since Brock Purdy came in and Jimmy G was still the man. But let's talk about when he was with the Patriots. What did the Patriots have? They always had a great defense. They always had a winning mentality. Jimmy G honestly probably would have developed better if he had started with a moderately okay team and then gone to the Patriots or the 49ers. Meanwhile, because so I know we talked the first week or so about how Jimmy G is like, oh, he's just targeting Jacoby Myers and Devontae Adams all the time, right? Like those are the only two guys he's targeting because that's what he knows how to do. Those Devontae Adams, that's the superstar. Jacoby Myers, that's the guy open when they're covering the superstar. So you get these players in these mindsets of these guys I have so many guys that can bail me out if I do poorly. It kind of hurts their development. So you said that if Brock Purdy stays in San Francisco for a while, it'll develop him as a player. I sincerely disagree.
now. No, that's not what I
I don't
said. That's not what I said. I said that no, it gives him the best chance to be looked at as a top tier player because because if he goes somewhere else, he most likely won't have the stats and the rings and stuff that would show. And also,
okay.
I agree and disagree with you. No. Let me finish. Let me go.
Well,
I
no, I just okay.
what say it.
No, I was just gonna say, obviously, I think that what Brock Purdy's doing with the 49ers is working for him. However, I think in weirdest case scenario, were he to go Saints, I'll throw out a team, Saints. He were to go to the Saints and play there for a couple seasons, right? You know, you got great receivers like Michael Thomas and Chris Olave. Like, you know, they're doing their thing. They're not any 49ers, but, you know, they're good. They're reliable sometimes. You throw him into an average offense like that, and he learns how to adjust his game to be missing pieces like Christian McCaffrey or Ayuk or, like, you know, not have all of that. and then you trade him back to the 49ers in obviously like a hypothetical as hell situation. So he goes there for a couple years, and he goes back to the 49ers. I think he becomes that guy where Deebo Samuel, Christian McCaffrey get hurt, and he carries the team on his back.
I
I
mean,
see a lot of potential in the kid.
okay, maybe, but like I disagree with you with the Jimmy G take only because like just in my opinion, like he was under the best quarterback ever. So it's like that's I mean
Oh,
how much that like
the stuff he learned from Brady is you can't put a price tag on that.
that's what
Absolutely. I guess I did overlook
yeah
that, but I
no
just meant more
but
so in
but
him playing.
no
Yeah.
but you're right in what you're saying. Like I think what you're saying is like them being blessed to be in such a system for a while hinders a lot of their possible potential. Now, I guess that only question remained was like, how much potential did they have coming into it? Which, you know, again, we can't answer now because you know it's just again we can hypothetical guess about it. You know, I hate to do that, but you know, like so in another world, you're right, or you're like where there's no way to determine that. But I do agree with you that it can absolutely hinder their potential for sure because you know in a weird way like you kind of have it easy. But I was just arguing that Brock Purdy, you know, if he stays with the Niners his whole career, he probably has the best chance to be looked at as a like legend quarterback because he will have the things to show and go with it. And
I
he can still grow into it. He can still grow into being a great quarterback with this team. So we'll see.
we're really low on time, but I have one question that I really want to hear you answer. Let's say 49ers stay the same. Brock Purdy stays the same. He develops with the guys, right? 5 years. Within the next 5 years, are they winning a championship with this team?
Yes, absolutely.
Right. Yep. Okay.
They
Absolutely. So I
they
don't want to
they
undermine his value there. I think what is happening there is working. I'm just saying his development as a individual player is
well
being hindered
that
by the 49ers.
that goes more towards the team because the 49ers could very well easily win the Super Bowl this year. They might. And like I said, like
I hope that
I've
I
been on
put money
record
on it. I mean, hell.
I've been on record saying I think you could throw Mac Jones, Russell Wilson, any of those guys on. Absolutely, stop. See, this is what I'm talking. This is the shit I can't stand. This is what I can't stand. You throw Mac Jones on there right now, they have the same record. Not even up for debate.
Well, we'll debate it another time because we are out of time. So like, comment, subscribe. Let us know your picks if you care to do so, and yeah, keep on watch for more new content. We'll
That's
catch
all
you next
they
time.